Okay. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear. Good morning. Welcome to the today's special meeting, meeting number 253 of Hoodi Toastmasters. Why is it special? Because today we are celebrating Ram Navami, and I would like to take a moment to wish everyone a very blessed Ram Navami. And as Lord Brahman has a mission in their life to kill the villains, our Toastmasters also has a mission. And this mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience by empowering the members to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we start the meeting, I would like to state the three ground rules. First of all, please switch off your mobile phone or put them in the silent mode. I am giving you 5 seconds to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Secondly, in Toastmasters, we are not prohibited, but we avoid to talk on the topics such as sex, religion, and politics. If we are speaking on these topics, please do it in non-derogatory or non-offensive manner. Third, whenever any speaker is speaking, please avoid any crosstalk or movement inside or outside the room. And for the benefit of all, what is available, just that side of this room. And now, as we all gather today, let's make most of this meeting and learn together. And now it's time to call the presiding officer of the day. Please welcome the huge round of applause, presiding officer of the day, Toastmasters Saurabh. Welcome everyone to the new venue for our Hoodi Toastmasters Club meeting. So, Hoodi Toastmasters Club, we recently celebrated 250th meeting of our club. So, it's an old club where we have a lot of talent, like TM Arushi Ram, Bhamati Pai, who have taken this club forward. And this is where today the club is today is the heart of all those presiding officers, presidents, and all the exco members. And I would like to welcome all of you today to the meeting 263. And I would like to officially start the meeting for meeting number 263 today. Gavel. So today is the official day of Ram Navami, as all we know, and I thank all of you to joining on such a day. I know it's going to be busy and to get time out of your family life to join the club meeting. I would like to call on all the guests who have joined this meeting first time to please come up and introduce yourself. Yes. I'm Satal Solanki. Hello guys, I'm Satal Solanki and I'm here for a 6 month internship. I reside in Delhi and my hometown is Jaipur, Rajasthan. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Natalie and this is right in Bangalore for 6 months. I work here in the electronics division and I'm from Pune.
Hello, good morning. I'm G. I got to know about this Hoodi Toastmasters Club to come and I've attended one session earlier, just come for another session to make my mind over going forward on this journey. Thank you. I come here to improve my communication and to learn from the expert.
in the presentation, from the last month, from and now, happy to meet you all in the video that is fun. One, method and fun here, I would like to answer this question.
So, so this is the question that we, I would like to call for the responsibility. So master Manav. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, let me start with a question. How many of you ever said this was not part of the plan? Oh, okay. Great. And yet we are here, still standing, still smiling and thriving, right? That is the magic of today's theme. That is adapt and thrive. That is the theme we have today. It's about embracing change, not just casually accepting it, but owning it, growing from it, and coming out stronger. It's like when adopted work from home. You remember work from home we adopted? Then we become the master of vision model, new person, and getting professionally only from the village. So as Money, I am adopting the change the way we conduct meeting Hoodi Toastmasters Club. So today we have a speech first, then we have a table topic, and we have another speech after table topic. So you see, although I choose this topic of adoption tag, I am now leaving it. So this is how the adoption works. So going forward, let's start with our prepared speech first. We have one speech today, and the prepared speech statement where our speakers show us how adopting a message, a story, idea can help us thrive as communicators. And to guide us through this evaluation and introduce to our speech evaluator, I welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Dixon, who is a veteran of our club and the genuine Toastmasters and a very good friend. Please, I welcome you. Good morning, everyone. In Toastmasters, we always believe that the best one is the next one. That's why in all the Toastmasters meetings, we always evaluate the speakers, the role takers, to get to know how they perform in the current meeting and they can improvise to get the best one next time. For the benefit of the girls, I am a general evaluator, B, and I am the person who is going to evaluate all the meetings towards the meeting, right from the entire role to a table topic session. And I'm not alone. I have two different teams. The first team is a speech evaluation. The person who is going to evaluate the prepared speech and the feedback to the speaker. The speech evaluation is given the just before the speech. So this will be like that. And this has a second group. We call the tag team. Timer, our founder, and dramatic. Unlike before, the timer explains about the role for today's meeting. The timer is 5 voice. Yesterday is the past. Tomorrow is the future. But today is the future. That's how it's called as well. I want to say something. My role as a timer is to monitor between the prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. For the prepared speech, I will show green light 5 minutes, yellow light 6 minutes, and red light at 7 minutes. For table topics, I will show green light 1 minute, yellow light 1.5 minutes, red light 2 minutes.
For the right over, I will go lead like 2 minutes, they are like 2.5 minutes, and then like 3 minutes. At the end of the meeting, I will explain to you. Thank you.
ನನ್ನೇನು ಕೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ ಟೋಸ್ಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಭಿನಯ
or fast food by anyone who is useful team. During the meeting, I will discuss the work over this work, including and well, but so and you. I will also discuss inner thoughts, including art, food, and I will also many people looking the work or faith, such as I or people at the end of the meeting, I will support the number of times that each speaker uses this question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and you have already Toastmaster Lauda. You Toastmaster too. It's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage, or take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quote, saying, or thought. As it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Today's word of the day is astute. I repeat, today's word of the day is astute. And the meaning of astute is meaning is ability to notice and understand things clearly. For example, the usage, the critics made some astute observations about the movie industry. With that, I think that the to Toastmasters. Thank you. So that's it from our end. So we will be come back with our report during today's session of our meeting. How is your Toastmaster management? Thank you, Mr. Disal, for this nice introduction. So, before we begin, let me ask a question. If you walk out tomorrow in a different country with no luggage and no luggage, what you are going to do? Try a local food, find Wi-Fi, use some sign language or something else, and you come back home. So anybody else has Wi-Fi? Yeah. Okay, that is great. So you know my friends, that is what adapts and thrives in action. Well, now it's time to move on to our new speech. First speech. So to evaluate our first speech of PM Suman, we have Ms. PM Kaurav here as a evaluator. She is also a very member of the Toastmasters Club and a seasoned evaluator. So can I call Mr. PM Kaurav?
Thank you, Hoodi Mama. Good morning, everyone. My target speaker will be delivering her project 3 level 1 speech in the pathway presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech. Timer please note, it is a 5 to 7 minute speech, and all the best to the speaker. Thank you. Over to you, Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, sir, is the recording started? Yeah, sure. Okay, so Toastmasters Suman is a Toastmaster of Legacy Toastmasters Club, and she works as a business strategy manager at a FMCG company. A borderline workaholic 16 months from time to indulge in her passion of dancing, fitness, and traveling, and lots of meeting new people along this journey. Let's invite PM Suman with thundering applause for the speech in this stage. So today's speech title for PM Suman is my first near-death experience. My first near-death experience, PM Suman.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. So today's stage is the story of my life, and this is my story. And this is the story of my teenage years. So my time of dating has happened in boarding school, and my hostel was based away from the bustling city in a remote area. And it also stood at the edge of a graveyard. And because of this very detail, the stories of trespassers entering the hostel or maybe girls seeing ghosts were very common. They never got verified although. And it was one such lonely night when a sudden power outage plunged the hostel in the darkness. And as I was about to drift off to sleep, piercing shrieks, speaking voices teared down the silence of the night. Help! Help! The voices screamed. Alarmed and furious, we all rushed to outside to see what is happening, a heart pounding. Amidst all the chaos, what we noticed is there was a girl clutching her head into her hands, blood streaming down her face. The whispers immediately turned into a story that an intruder has entered the hostel and has attacked her. Until that moment, we always believed the stories of ghosts, trespassers as merely the bedtime stories. But now we had undeniable evidence. Fear gives us. And unlike the horror movies of Bollywood, we all decided to stick together. So now, in the middle of the night, in the common area, under the sky, a bunch of 70, 80 odd girls, terrified, were standing in the shadows, in the darkness, to find the killer. The name is the killer. Sounds dramatic right now, but back then it sounded pretty young. Pins on silence, few seconds passed. Done! Another third of a body collapsing. And at this sound, whatever courage we had mustered so far, took off running even before the group started. Screaming, we all scattered, each girl reverting to the nearest hiding spot. And in that moment, in my sense of geniusness, I thought of sprinting to the farthest room available with the rationale that if the killer is actually on his killing spree, I would at least be last on his because he has already attacked me. Sounds like that, right? These will take sense, right? All with me? Yeah, that is what I am about. Dancing, I reached to the last room, tried anything, only to find a box on the side. Amazing, but it was spectacular thought. And as I was frantically started looking for an already hiding spot, I realized something changed. I realized something changed. Everyone was hidden by now, and it was just me standing outside. But let's gratitude. I slowly crouched down and started crawling to the next available room to hide. With the self of a professional danger. In the next room, another kind of panic was growing. Because in a rush to hide to the safest spot, all the girls were just scrambling under the bed, frantically whispering prayers and hoping the killer wouldn't find them. But in that rush, they forgot to lock the door. And now, no one had the. So when I, still crawling, tried entering the room, in that dim of light, my shadow appeared to them as a monstrous creature creeping towards them. And then the chaos erupted. Help! Help! Another round of screaming started. Their voices staring down the sky, reaching to the sky. And I, who is still at the door, frozen. Because to me, it looked like that they have seen the actual killer behind me and they are screaming because of that. My life flashed before my eyes. This was it. My time has come. In those fleeting moments, I remember my family, friends, and every God I had ever heard of. And then I started turning around slowly to face my ultimate death. Only to find out. In this place, at a distance, I see a group of people approaching us, and in few seconds, I hear a familiar sound saying, "Kya hua beta? What happened?" I was staring at them, as if I had actually seen a real ghost in my life, my eyes wide open. It shook me hard to snap me back to reality. They were secure. They had come running after hearing all the pandemonium. And they immediately took charge, turned on the generator, sent the injured girls to the hospital, and started controlling other girls who had by now started crying. As the dust settled, the truth emerged. So there was a girl who slept, who woke up in the middle of the night, groggy, sat up, and then collapsed back into her place. Only this time to hit her head on the iron frame of the bed, causing a rush of the blood. The second girl had collapsed out of sheer panic. There was never any children, no rest of her. It was just a series of unfortunate events amplified by fear. The narrative that doesn't just end there. Behind the features, we noted the voice person would also come running to for a rescue with the most lethal weapon they could get their hands on. And that was, some had wipers, some had brooms, some even had slippers, some even had tube lines. But yeah, they were there for a rescue. And that is how my first ever near-death experience turned into one of the funniest memories of my life. Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful speech that was. I hope everyone likes it. So this exemplifies how adapting your voice, your message, and your truth can help you thrive not just as a speaker but as a person. So now it's time to burn up the meeting a little bit with most thrilling part of the meeting, the table topic. The unscripted, unpredictable, and undeniably fun segment where adaptability is good and training is just optional. Let's now welcome our Toastmaster 3, who is ready to challenge you, thinking and test your spontaneity, and we'll find out how astute you are. Here, Kilo makes no instruction for the member, but for the guest, he is software developer by the day and a badminton enthusiast, and a key pillar of our Hoodi Toastmasters product. So, Mr. Sanjay, let's welcome you.
Favorite topic is about improvising, and we found that the first thing today are key. So the improvised, so we came to the meeting and then they were told that, okay, we're taking up the order of the evening. So that is improvisation. So in favorite topic, everybody is welcome to participate. You'll be given a topic. The encourage can speak on the topic for about 2 to 3 minutes. Try 3 to 2 minutes. 1 to 5. The 2 minutes is the The green card will be known at 1 minute 30 seconds, yellow at 2, and red card at 2 minutes 30 seconds. So who would like to volunteer first as a favorite topic? No question. Let's start with the question. Sure. So we have the question. Yeah, my name is Arthur Gupta, but in a while I so I used to come to Toastmasters last year and then we want to talk today. Challenge that topic is change is the only path to growth. Change is the only path to growth. So I think it's a very strong and inevitable topic. Change is the only path to grow because whether we like it or not, we would find changes happening in our life, and the only way to enjoy the changes is by embracing them. And change is path to growth. And if we embrace it, then like if we take on those changes voluntarily, then that growth happens in a more positive and in a more profound manner. Versus if we don't like the growth or we try to restrict the growth, in that case we would get agitated, irritated, and we might not enjoy the process. So in order to learn more from the change, we should voluntarily accept it and take action in the right manner so that we can move towards what needs to be done in that aspect. Thank you. Any part of the name who would be the name that is wanted? The name.
We are, and then like under.
So there's so many trends going on around these days. So what was one of the trends that you were early to adopt and how was it explained? Any trends that you were early to adopt, how was it explained?
See, I'm the worst person to ask. I was just
Really, that's right.
So if you try, like if you really just look at green, for example, I don't really like hypertension. So when the skinny fit jeans trend happens, I'm the only person wearing my good fit jeans in the street, shunned by all my friends. They don't want to be standing there, And then suddenly 5 years later, I'm very sure they have gone to hell with me. And now suddenly worn out clothes, white leg jeans are all wearing. All my friends are like, where did you get here? And I'm like, you have seen these jeans for the past 5 years, man. I don't know what to tell you. So again, I would say, I like what I like, and I would follow my own. If there was ever a trend of this, not like even the micro trend thing that's happening right now. I think where everybody is going in their interest, they're becoming maybe a very small influencers, and then they're creating their own niche. I think that is maybe a trend that I have become an early adopter because I just do what I want most of the time. So yeah.
Great. You had a trend earlier, the best time for the next anybody else. So while we are actually talk about going to the trend, how about you telling us what is trend that you are early to adopt, but that's not. So, but I was born. I think it did not work with your paper. With the doctor that said, but it's not working. So, friends, yeah, I'll just take the example of the team surgery. But so back at like around 1 or 2 years back, there was like this flipped genes going on. So I also tried doing that. I also tried like I had a lot of pairs of flipped genes. But then I like my taste just changed. I just followed the trend like everybody is doing it. I think I should also try it. But that was the first mistake. I just followed the trend. I didn't look for what suits me because everybody is different. Everybody body type is different. Everybody's shape is different. And that's why the different types of clothes are there. There are casual fitting, there are slim fitting, and there are many more like that. But that only depends on how your body type is. So like for me, the loose fit or casual comfort fit works very for me. That's what I think right now. But maybe a few years later, that might not be the case because I think right now the baggy fit jeans is the trend. So that's why I think it fits on me. But in few years, that might not be the case. I'll get introduced to something new, and then I might seem like following it. Thank you. Let me
G.
have child question. Does it happen? Why do you think children are better at adapting things? If that is what you like to work.
So, good morning, everyone. The topic I'll be speaking on is why are children better at adapting change? I think everyone has been through this phase of childhood, then teenage, and right now we are sitting here all together at different age groups. But what is the most memorable thing or phase of your life? What do you guys think? Can I have some feedback? What was the most memorable phase of your life? Why is it so? Has anyone thought about it? Exactly. The topic which is here is as children we have clear mind. That is, our mind is very clear. It does not have any preconceived notions or it's just empty and blank. We are just ready to go with the flow and adapt to new things. So basically, whatever we have done as a childhood, whatever we have learned, the language we speak, the habits which we learn, the culture which we inculcate, all of this gets imbibed with us day-to-day activities of in the DNA, and then that is how we learn. So it's not that we need to stop growing, but we need to keep the inner side alive within us so that we can keep growing and have an open mind. So that's all. Thank you.
One kind of thing that nobody has been under this AI previously. So what is the influence of AI in your life?
So AI or artificial intelligence is something which is like exponentially growing in a day-to-day basis. So wherever we see, wherever we look at it, always something or the other. I think the new summer trend, which is like a degree art or something, is also part of the art. And the amount of people like going behind the trend is really shocking and surprising. Because we all want to know what is happening. We want to see another version of ourselves. Like how is it to be in a different point or a different stand, to see ourselves from a different version. So I think artificial intelligence has affected every one of us in some way or the other. Maybe knowingly or without knowingly. We have new devices which have come up. All the electrical appliances are going into AI. So most of the time we don't even know how this is, but it is there. It is like, the thing which is present everywhere, even without us knowing. So I think it is mandatory or necessary to go with the trend sometimes, but also to make sure that it doesn't stop at everything, that we are not controlled by the AI things or any technological things, but we should be conscious about how we are using it and how it is affecting our life. So I think artificial intelligence is one of the biggest thing and the most effective thing we can come up to our life. But at the same time, we are also humans. We also need to know what is humanity and work along with AI by not making it the master of our life. Thank you.
I remember you had a table topic in our class the last time. So this is your need for the day.
Let me start.
The topic is what works for you? Blending in or standing out? Blending in or standing out?
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for such a wonderful when I think about everything that is good, it may be insignificant things like taking a round of this clubhouse and entry, whether this way or that way. I want to question myself. Even I want to stand out from my own thoughts and take a call. Every single time. Where it started at when I have been brought up from my childhood, I never knew there are unphysical goals for men and women in the domestic life. As I have noticed at my home, my parents usually even their using at home and do. And we were trying to slightly away from our relatives always. You are what nature of parents. Because we get to see too much day to day. When I started noticing in my teenage, how our household is completely different from other households. Actually, we should see why so much of this. Then I started thinking, what I think is correct or not. I think I have to from there this developed. So surely blending in, connecting with everyone is so key. But then at the same time, even differently after from our own thoughts and taking the thinking, we have a lot of unconscious bias. This is what when I had researched the library world in my 11th standard. Along with that, I started exploring how this relates to things. So I will say that every moment, how much we need to anyone needs listening something and then connecting to the key because listening doesn't mean that we completely go out from everybody. Actually, standing out in the connection is really helpful. Standing out gives the leading to connection with anyone, gives others also perspective, our own self is good. That thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
This is also like the concepts that are happening in Toastmasters community. Yesterday we had a concept, and I think the topic is confused with the concept. Concept. To win some, you have to lose some. To win some, you have to lose some.
About childhood, why adapting is the best thing about, like, why is it so easy to adapt? It's because winning or losing is not a factor in our life. We don't care about it. We just do. And then whether we win or lose, it doesn't mind. It doesn't bother us. But as we start growing up, we start understanding the nuances of winning, losing, biases, judgments, expectations, which have a very heavy bearing on us. Since these grow to a great extent in our lives, that many of us stop doing things. When we stop doing things, we are actually losing our chance to win. At the same time, we are losing in ways we don't understand. Instead, if we just do, there might be that one arrow which hits the spot and we get that win. And that win is going to have a huge impact on our life. So I'll always say, keep losing to get that one win.
The topic is a task delay is a task doubled. A task delay is a task doubled.
I guess some point in our life, all of us in theory, that whole life are trying to study through 10 chapters, trying to pass the exam, or trying to reach out to our first rank or 10 rank, whatever our target is. But have you noticed that if you had put in our effort every day, 1% of the effort every day, it would have been a lot more easier to achieve the same thing rather than waiting for the national. There is scientific reason for that. If you see the calculation of exponential, 1% improved every day is 32 times better than what you started. But 1% lost every day, if you go back to a fraction of what you started with. So it doesn't look easy for everyone because this is a part of delayed gratification. A child would probably choose some chocolate. If you offer a chocolate, hey, if you wait for 1 minute, you're going to get 5 the chocolate, but the child will wait for that. But there's always the inner child inside us who wants to wait and wait for the last moment to reap our goods. Thank you. How many days a week do you work?
Fine.
Exactly. So why are Mondays the best?
Because they all have, but they have to make it not. But this is a quote which I read from here, that if the Mondays don't excite you, you got to change your job. But do, in real world, is it even possible? Because I have switched like at least 4 to 5 companies, and Mondays I'm never excited. I really don't know what exactly one job I was switching to eventually create the Monday. At least I think if there is any company where Mondays are weekend, then fine, possible. But otherwise, I don't think so. Next Monday can be good. Long weekend. Yeah, exactly. Those are the other cases, another scenario where the Monday could be good, but trust me, they were not trying to give you that proof for it. I'm just very out of the idea how to actually prove it. So yeah, it's my personal opinion for going by my experiences. Monday, and that is why I get the place to go by Monday to you all have to so Monday.
Thank you.
Before we go, give the stage, so we're not done.
Okay, so this is that we don't have to necessarily agree to what I'm giving you. You will definitely come out and talk against the topic as well. Right? So I will start the last topic. Back to you. before I end up, I have something for you also. So I want to see how I am not. So it's not like just often through a time you try to adapt something but fail.
I think hearing the context of Toastmasters comes to my mind when you talk about this. I heard about Toastmasters when I just started my job. There was several years ago. And also the time I heard about Toastmasters. But the fact of going and standing in front of people and delivering a speech, when I was very sure that my capability of communicating confidence was challenging for me. Years passed, I did not learn about it. Then it did not come to my mind that I should be pursuing this as one of the options for myself. So something happened last say 2 years back, where there was no option. I had to do a communication. That was perhaps an external push, but this is where some other factors in, the other people. So if you're trying to do something difficult that is not in your comfort zone, what helps advice here is bringing somebody who has confidence in you and who you look up to get that confidence. And that was the person who suggested me to get to the first market. And there's another person who's sitting right over here, who's the mentor of everybody who can push that who pushes you and gives you the right nudges to take you that path forward, which otherwise you would not feel good back. So this is from my experience of a failure or take a failure to take a next step and how I overcome it. Thank you so much.
Well, it was such an enigmatic session. How well everyone demonstrated today's theme, right? Kudos to the all and Toastmasters because for pulling out such a mesmerizing session. A big round of applause for this Toastmasters session. Okay, before I go further, let's listen from some of the obstacles you believe most annoying or problematic for adapting a situation, phase, or anything else. I think one procrastination. What do you give me some objectives which you believe that most annoying and problematic for adapting a situation or place or being available. Anything? You believe everything is very easy? Laziness. Okay?
Denied.
Sorry?
Denied.
Denied. Okay? And
Fear of judgment. Fear of judgment.
fear of judgment. Well, distraction. Distraction. Right? Good. So, well said, everyone. So, now it's time to move on. Our second speaker, Toastmasters Arijit, as well as he is just a mentor and student Toastmasters we have. And he will share information about Toastmasters which can be utilized, enhance your knowledge here. So, let's welcome CM Arijit with huge round of applause. How you are first time attending the Toastmasters? How members of the club significant portions are not members of the club? I think great people here. So I wanted to ask, why did you, or who told you to join the Toastmasters meeting? Kind of.
I have Kamal recommended me to join the meeting.
Kamal is bringing a friend to Toastmasters. I'll come back to Kamal on that. Yeah, who recommended you to go to a Toastmasters meeting?
Getting to a meeting in front of crowd is very appreciated. That's why 99% it is in English. So I wanted to kind of try my mother tongue into where I used to be enjoying it in my school days. Actually, I did not have a foreign place to kind of express my thoughts, you know. So that is how, through a friend of mine, I started with the bilingual club as a kid.
So the issue of the fire.
Same time name.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's very interesting. Because you want to learn, you want to speak India language. Right. Yes, ma'am. Who pushed you for personality?
Yeah, I found it on net. I thought maybe I didn't have a friend that push me. So I had to spend quite a long time, but finally I was able to.
Okay, good to know that.
Yeah, I heard about Toastmasters like one was around 3 years back, but I never really joined it. But Fran, she is my co-worker, and she just like I was asking what's your plan for the weekend. She said I'm going to Toastmasters club. But then can I join? Because I have heard about it, but I never got that spirit to go.
Okay, that's nice. Fine. What do you do Toastmasters? Why escape a Sunday morning and be part of it?
I've been there for a long time. So I pretty much overcome it, but I really struggle in meetings or like formal occasions. So I was hoping I'd get more chance to practice and like do it, so in the I'd be better than that. So there is absolutely a person that I'm coming there.
Any new new member of the club? You are the new member of the club. Okay, which club? Oh, together. Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So I wanted to know which are the roles you enjoy in Toastmasters?
I enjoy being the
Okay.
I enjoy being the TMD. I enjoy being the general evaluator.
Okay.
Costing.
Okay. Peter came out the general evaluation. Very important role, very nice role, and very enjoyable role. Which are the okay? So, which role excites you in so far? Peter.
So I think all are very exciting.
Which one excites you the most? One.
The one which really excites me and really took me on the edge is evaluator.
Evaluate.
Which is good.
I really like a question people have with all things.
Okay, that's nice to know. And we will also know what the purpose to connect people's grammar. It is. But today I'm taking a session on rock and roll. Rock and roll. There is also very popular song. How does it remember the song? Roll, baby, roll, the song can old people. Whenever anyone calls me, please Toastmaster, I know that definitely we have opened Toastmaster. Yeah, I've grown old. But yeah, so rock and roll. Everyone likes to be in the group and all that. But generally, what we have seen in Toastmasters is that people are drawn to roles of, say, a speaker, a Toastmaster of the day, my favorite table Toastmaster, general language and mastery. So there are some other roles in Toastmasters which also can help you in pursuit of communication, leadership, and organizational skills. Here I have a question for you. So what's the basis of what other things you should learn in Toastmasters besides communication and leadership? Yes, ma'am. Okay, organizing or organizing. Managing people, managing team and networking. Okay, so that's one attribute. So please write it down. You.
So managing team, anything else, yes, you know, one thing you enjoy from Toastmasters, you saw that it's an integral part of Toastmasters, besides leadership and communication.
One thing that I've noticed when I brought to practice is the structure. A lot of things are structured, and that is what helps in, for example, if it's an event, the three different structures will help this bringing that in order, finishing it in time, and no surprises. I think that is one of the things that happens.
Structure, organization, team. One, yes. I joined the Toastmasters and I got to meet so many people. The networking part, networking is something here in India. How much like we being creative? Like we are a very scientific organization, very creative. So how much like to be creative? And that is one aspect everyone looks forward to. That draws people to you. Like, if you do something out of the way or in a very creative fashion, that draws you. That draws the attention of people. And why of all things AI decided to select Ghibli as I hope it is pronounced Ghibli. As very engaging and makes everything look cute. Even my friends who adopted that trend and started looking cute for a change. These are something what we like learn into master besides communication and leadership, that means structure, networking with people, organizing team meetings. That's a great point you made. That's a great point you made. Toastmasters is one of the largest international organizations in terms of non-volunteer people, not-for-profit organization, spread across so many countries and all that. So diversity is an integral part of Toastmasters, especially in a city like Bangalore, where people from various backgrounds and cultures come and learn from partners. But now, I will tell you about smaller roles in Toastmasters which are not that exciting or interesting, but add to these attributes. The most important place of club meeting is where? Where is the most important stage in Toastmasters meeting? No. Which is the most important geography that most important? You know, which one? Okay, we have a good venue today. That. Sorry, podium? No. Second time on No. This is the most important podium. The timer, the counter, and the donating. These are smaller roles which help people to become very self-aware. As we mentioned the timer role, why did you mention the timer role? What is the one thing you learned from the timing? Okay, I have been to as a played a role for the timer for few contests and managing contests with them. So I have a So what I learned being a timer is not only the thing is first humorously I got to get the best fit, and secondly I got to listen properly, and communication is not about speaking, it's about listening also. So I believe I was not a very good listener, but being a timer role, and I have not taken a grammarian concept again, but I grown my listening skill a lot, and that's how it helped me in that. Okay. So as you mentioned, that not only the timer gets the best seat in the room, you also get to listen from very close quarters and observe the speaker. One thing I learned very early in my journey as a Toastmaster as a timer, I also used like the timer's role specifically. But it's not very controversial, you just have to be aware. And in Toastmasters, get so many great speakers. And we can also observe and notice how are they utilizing the time? How are they breaking it? How much time they are taking for the introduction, the body of the speech, and the conclusion? This especially comes to in the table topic. How many of you, in how many of you like classical music or Western classical music or Indian classical music? How many of you like it? So what is which kind of music is it? Okay, tell me one thing which differs in both are long music, but what one distinct difference between Western classical music and Indian classical music?
Not improvisation. We don't see that a lot. They have like one symphony and they don't follow that matter what. And I think this is more fun.
One is that.
So system rather, this is the kind of the thing that is not based on the
I would like to disagree with it a little bit, but I would like to disagree with it. But yes, I get the point. One striking difference I find in classical, Indian classical music and Western classical music is how they start. Indian classical music starts very slow, remote, and then at the end you will see a very it ends on a high. But a Western classical music begins on a high and ends on a low. So as a timer, we get to observe and notice the kind of minute changes that happen. Even when the speaker is coming, what kind of energy is brings right at the start of the meeting and at the end of the meeting. This is something these observational skills help you grow. One role I do not enjoy in Toastmasters is to the outcome. Because I have to talk about earth and pounds and but there are things which is a role which makes you very quite self-aware. A lot of people, how many of you think that speaking confidently is the only essence to be cherished, played, or loved as an individual? Like, how many of you think that only a confident speaker who speaks very confidently without zero R's and N's are very false, are the person to be used to be before them. So, but what else in this role often encounter is that you notice what difficulties people face while speaking. We have seen in this very club, we have seen people who would stammer and stutter or would have tight tongues and would miss the nouns and the difficulties they would face to ensure that they don't have that extra and I'm a person who loves having the and but that's not the way, because if I'm making a sales call, I have to ensure that I speak very efficiently. Irrespective of my liking or not liking the goal, it ensures that I become a more efficient speaker. Plus, it also creates a certain amount. I will always go back to this point of self-awareness, of how much self-awareness you get by having these difficulties sorted out by speaking. And then the most important one is the grammar. Someone will be able to grammar and the purpose she said that you can correct a person's grammar. What is the normal term we have always heard associated with grammar? And why is it so? Because German grammar is that pure as grammar. If we have grammar. But the jokes apart, the grammar role is all about how astute you are and how you can improve as a speaker while it involves a lot of things.
It shows a person's preparedness. It shows how much naturally that person has adopted or what he conveying or presenting to people or expressing his ideas to. It also highlights about, grammarian also highlights the importance of speaking the adequate amount and not having extra words added unnecessarily. One thing I have learned in Toastmasters, in Hoodi Toastmasters, that you never say 3 years back, 5 years back, a lot of us do that. One of the most strict grammarians of our meeting, Toastmasters Anuja, she would always ensure that we say 3 years ago, 5 years ago. In this club, the club was started by a lady called Megha, and she used to have 5 minutes sorted out for all the for presenting her report. And she was very minutely listening to everything a person has spoken. And it would come even nitpicking at certain points that she would tell that we haven't worked on this. But it would be always a 5 minutes report and I would show a red card because I would take a lot of reminders and but the tag team is one of the most important roles. But what ensure what is very important in Toastmasters is that they encourage the other person to come on the stage more often. I use a very good pyramid. My biggest regret in Toastmasters till this day is that once I had given a donating report, I had named the person and I had a list of grammatical errors he had made. And he never rejoined Toastmasters until a few months ago, he joined my other club that I have joined. When you are giving feedback, you have to be very empathetic of from where the other person is coming. Not everyone has gone to a convent school. So you cannot be hell-bent on seeing that everyone is grammatically correct. So much so one of our players also goes like this that do not bother about grammar as much as you have to focus on devotion or the way you speak should be enticing or interesting to people to engage. So that is one thing we can look forward to while presenting. The thing I have always found with Toastmasters is the way you can always encourage people. That is the most important thing I have learned in Toastmasters. So this is the only platform that I saw new members or guests coming to the stage, there's a round of applause. When they are leaving, there is a round of applause. That does not happen every day, at least the places where I go. I don't see anyone encouraging me that you are great or do not fear we are here. That does not go. So that is another thing we learn today. Toastmasters is how to encourage people. What are the most important leadership roles in a club? From which have you ever taken a leadership role in a club? Okay, that's a nice question. What do you enjoy about it? Well, feeling you can get to know what the people what is going on. No, that is one question that was because okay. So, how do you have to know the roles of Toastmasters, leadership roles in the Toastmasters community? Yes, anyone aware? Or newer people who have been newer members of the club. So we have a president, we have a VP education who ensures that the meeting happens in an efficient manner. The weekly membership who persuade people like you to join the club. And then we have some important roles like the secretary, the treasurer, and the sergeant at arms. My favorite role in Toastmasters, a role which I did for 2 years, in Toastmasters consecutively for the largest accounts of the meeting, coming every day on the stage and telling people, till these are the rules, you follow it and introducing the president of the club. What we can do over here is that they not only get the first opportunity to come on stage and express themselves, I also would learn how to appreciate and find a more creative way every week, whenever I would take that course, to how to introduce the presiding officer in a more creative manner. So every role in Toastmasters, besides being the president, the CMOD, the president of VP Education, or the meeting roles, the CMOD, the more limelight roles, the smaller roles also ensure that you can work on a communication skills and also present things in a manner that helps others grow and also you grow. On that note, I would also appreciate a lot of leaders within Hoodi Toastmasters Club whom I have seen make a lot of efforts. Like I have Dixon, Trillo, Kamal, I have seen them on how they started in their role. They were actually pushed in their role by none other than by me. But how they help the club grow? At times we had only 8 members 3 years ago, but from there is Ronald with the building. From 8, now the club has about 50 members. That is something commendable. And leadership is something you will love to enjoy, but also look at the smaller groups of club which also help you. On that note, I will take it over to the first.
Well, what an enchanting session and delivery of this essential information. Let's have one more round of thundering applause for Mr. Mustali. So we have listened to clear speaker and let's have some time. Let's play a game. Okay, raise your right hand if you are with my first word and left hand if you are with my second word of the sentence. Don't think it's about deciding spontaneously in general. All right? Raise your right hand if you are okay with my first word of sentence, and left hand so if you are with my second part of the word of sentence. Okay? Just don't think about the backgrounds and all, just spontaneous. Book or podcast? Book or okay. Okay. That's good. Okay, there are few podcasts, but mostly books. Okay. In one, coffee first, then practice or practice first coffee campaign. Don't you think that it's actually for Judas then go for practice or just plan with the great. That's good. Next one. Learn a new skill or master the new skill. Most of them are new, so nobody wants to master their own skill all around them. That's right. Next one. Give feedback or receive feedback. Oh, I think both are. Great. Good. Fine. Let's come to the last one. Change the plan once you quit. This 50-50 I would say. So many people want to stick to the plan as long as it works, but some of them always try to change the plan and try to find a better solution. So both work. That's what I think. So nice. We have a nice thing. So awesome. So we now move to the segment where real growth happens, the evolution. So it's where we adopt feedback, learn from it, and strive as better speaker each time. Let's start it back for general evaluator. Toastmaster Digital and the team of evaluators. How enjoy, motivated, refreshed. Okay. So I start my evaluation for the next start with a preparing evaluation and let's go to Toastmasters level for that.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmasters month, firstly, congratulations on delivering a successful speech. Yeah, here goes my evaluation. When it comes to clarity, it was well understood and well organized. You had a very interesting story which kept the audience engaged. You had an attention-grabbing introduction, nice transition when you said you wanted to run to the last door to find it locked and scrolling when your friends saw it as a monster. And again, a very interesting conclusion. When it comes to eye contact, it was fairly effective, but I think you were keeping mainly eye contact with the front audience. You could keep an eye contact around the room also. And when it comes to your body language, where postures were confident, but I felt little restrictive because we had a very interesting story. You could have made much more dramatic. I think you were trying to remember the speech, and that restricted your posture a little bit. When it comes to facial expression, I found it little fat, which is an area of improvement for us. And the movement, we had a lot of space here, you could have made use of this. Try to incorporate more movement to keep the audience engaged. And overall, it was a very well structured, well researched speech, which was the purpose of your project, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
And now I would like to call Saima.
At the timer, I've recorded everyone's timer. So let me start with the preparation. First half is 7 minutes 46 seconds. First half is additive, 23 minutes 12 seconds. For table topic, Toastmasters, table topic master, Toastmasters below 15 seconds. Get started here, 1 minute 17 seconds. So I will get 55 seconds. Get Satyam, 1 minute 34 seconds. Get Deep, 1 minute 15 seconds. Get Amrita, 1 minute 38 seconds. Get Lalita, 2 minutes 33 seconds. Get Nikita, 1 minute 15 seconds. Get Adit, 1 minute 18 seconds. Toastmasters comment, 1 minute 9 seconds. Toastmasters below, 1 minute 7 seconds. For the general evaluator, Toastmasters 1 minute 33 seconds. Thank you. For all these people, PM women, you are 3 times. Toastmasters mother, you are 4 times. Article system, you are 6 times. Get Ranjani, you are 1 time and you know a couple of times. And second, you are a couple of times and like 4 times. He, you, 2 couple of times. Anita, 2 couple of times. Anita, are 2 times. I, he, the, and the, I think, are 2 times. Toastmasters trio are 1 time. And Toastmasters are more than 10 times.
How that was. So today is the word of the day for you. I think it's been used by the master of the day one time, and also TMLG. Apart from that, I really like a few words and phrases from Manav, who use enigmatic, very nice word name, and Jen, very nice word. Speaker one, Suman, from your speech, some of the words are very good, like shaking, loud and curious, hard sounding, stealth, stealth of professional, stealth of professional ninja, very good way, frantically and fleeting moment. So very nice words which we use. This is nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll start with my one share. I'll start with our essay of Master Kamal Khan. He came on time, 9:45 to make sure everything is on time. And he done a great job. He explained about the role, he explained about the meeting. Thanks to you, Dr. Kamal Khan. Only one small suggestion to you. First one is that when you introduce someone, when you ask someone to come to the stage as presiding officer, just give 10 seconds of introduction about him. That will be really helpful for the guests and everyone. And also, since you are an FA, if you are taking FA role, I would suggest be there on the entrance side. You can control the people who sit in the entry all the time. So that's from my end. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And come to our presiding officer, you're done a great job, and this is your place, right?
Yes, I can say.
Yeah, great location. I think I really doubt the venue. And done a great job. And come to the DMO, I come to the DMO later. And the speaker and evaluator. The speech was really good and Saurav did a great job with the evaluation of the body. Now I have more suggestion from my end. You are presenting about research about a subject and you have to give the speech about the research. Right? So I would suggest when you give the speech, just make sure that there will be intelligent storytelling. We have enough levels and projects we have for the storytelling. So just look into the project part and try to give some kind of research activity and give a speech on that part. It will be helpful for the members also to know how a research work can be done as a speech. So try to figure it out that way, but speech is really good and sort of point out that information very well. To you, big round of applause to everyone. When I come to the topic master, I really love that the way you present the table topic. That I love the way you pick the subject and you really control the full meaning, that question from your end. Only one suggestion also table topic master, but as an opinion from my end, table topic master is able to talk to me by the spending on 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, at least 10 minutes. So, no one to this is my basic opinion, no one to give their topic to the table topic to give a table to because the reason is that we are hearing Toastmasters for giving a chance to speak, right? Like enter to get a chance. It's all about the ability to come to stage. So we have to motivate the members or guests come here and give some kind of speak about something for 2 minutes. So if you have another 2 minutes, give that 2 minutes to the people who is still not talking about anything. So give that opportunity to the people who is not talking, who does not use the stage. So instead of giving to the table topic, that's my humble suggestion. That's from my end. And about the education session and bringing down the education session, even though I have some education sheet, I came to talk of me because I came to know that we had education session from him, and I really love the way he presented about the Toastmasters, the role, and all those kind of things. I think everyone must have got a good idea of what Toastmasters, what are the roles we are going to have, right? So thank you, Toastmasters. Get back to the come back to the your home class again. Okay, so that's it from my end. Our CMOD, Manas, thank you for this. You are doing a great job. from morning, not for morning, I think from the beginning itself, when we start, when we talk about the meeting, in the group itself, you then expect to make sure that everyone is coming up to the meeting. You keep on giving the message to everyone and arranging the meeting such a way that and I think last week was the TM where I talked to kind of things. Thanks for that. I have only one suggestion, even if it's very short notice, what do you call it, rotating. You can take up this paper, but I suggest don't read everything because that's the point, it's the point, and you talk because you will be able to give more better way, area of happiness. Perfectly done, and look to everyone and bring out of each and every role different people. And that's it from my end. Always wait.
Thank you, Professor Nitin, for this nice resolution. Okay, now as we near to the end of the session, let's take a moment to reflect. We saw how adaptability and openness can lead to growth. We saw how each speaker, each volunteer, and even you, as an audience, played a role in helping all us adapt and thrive. And let's not forget how active we have been, observing, learning, finding, and work work. Remember, life is always comfort. The secret isn't to avoid them, it's adapt a new stand and try to be better. As Mr. Charles Darwin said, one of the strongest or most resilient species can survive, but the one most responsible to change the world. Remember the opposition? Okay, with this, thank you all for being part of this energetic and inspiring meeting. Hope to see a lot of you in coming week. And with this, I would like to hand over the stage to our presenting officer, Mr. Saurabh. Passing my hat of journalism and take up the hat of presiding officer again. So I think we have two guests online. Would you like to introduce yourself and please let us know how did you find the meeting of today? Vaibhav? If you can unmute yourself and tell us about the meeting today. How did you find the meeting today?
Hi everyone. So my name is Vaibhav. I'm actually kind of exploring Toastmasters at the moment. This was my first session, and I think the meeting was great. I'm sorry, actually, I couldn't hear a bit of it. I was running a little late, but yeah, I think this was great. I'm probably looking forward to joining the club as well. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Vaibhav. All right. I would like to have the guests of my in the venue here. You can please come and let us know about your experience for today. Samshi.
That's been wonderful. I usually struggle a lot with speaking in public situations. Like the reason I came here is because I can't go to a meeting in my office and just speak on it. I struggle a lot. So I wasn't expecting to deliver a speech over here or just like have a conversation and just not time to all of it. I think that's because I'm sort of treating you all as like, some new friends that I've been, not seeing you all as like audience that I'm trying to present in front of. So I feel like you have to create a very welcoming environment here where everybody can come and like sort of speak without fear of judgment. Because I think it removes one of the biggest blocks for me in terms of public speaking. So yeah.
I came to know about Toastmasters 3 years ago, but I didn't join that. I regret that. Why I didn't join earlier? It was a very good experience. I get to learn a lot of things. And one thing I learned today is how better I can structure my speech and structure my thoughts in a way and a concise time. Like the rule of timer, the timer thing I like the most because if I have three topics I want to speak on, and I only have 3 minutes, I will structure my speech in such a way. But if I have 3 hours to speak on those 3 topics, I will structure my speech in such a way so that every point or the detail or the depth which I want to cover that point is maintained throughout. So it was a very great experience and I'll show you next week. Thank you. So it was very that was Monica also decided that he is exciting.
Finding of that one is like and my God, so happy that I see education as a unique station because there is something new for it. That is how I saw buses that again we have given, particularly the last game I life where it was very tough to choose one. Such a way we are having in things and each of the factors that are speaking to things are not speaking to things and however you like. All these things are not just this much figure and this lot needs to take back. I was able to very well when seeing Martin told about the timer rule. Recently, I had an opportunity to do a timer rule. Then I was able to notice how some people were able to take a few starting of the few minutes to engage, bring people into the conversation and they were able to. But then some of them they after the ego part comes to me, they are coming to the next point. So those things I was able to observe when I think in the timer. Otherwise, we are very fun with it to that. You might be told. Each of the boards is shape that. So it's like we are helping others. More than that, we double so that's we are in that order. And I saw I missed the speaker one speech I did it. But I enjoyed also taking something to the obviously I was selected in such a way that people have to see complete the thought. So that is the idea actually to pushing ourselves and so I felt very good about that session and lot of learning. The reason why I keep coming back to the same thing, something new, something engaging, really for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want, so the first time when I joined the Toastmasters, I was talking to one of the Toastmaster and I was asking like, why have you come here? What did you join? So most of the times I was not appreciating to talk better and everything. So I was telling him, it doesn't make sense like you all come and say the same things to talk better, so we get better. So this is really like you don't go to a restaurant and you will ask why are you here because we are from the way. Not that everything will have done. So I was asking him if there's something else which we can learn. So I was going to other to say what are the other things we learn from Toastmasters and as it was said, like organizing, to network, or to put our full of mind into the world of thought and everything, the little things which made us self-evident. So I think these are also factors, like we learn a lot of other things about this communication. So I think it's a wonderfully structured meeting and there's a lot to learn and I think it's to learn a lot. And the audience is really wonderful, really absolutely and it's very encouraging to work with us and talking. And I think it's very lovely for everyone having a such a wonderful environment.
How to master also. And I have been doing writing after 6 to 7 months. It was a long time ago, and back then I joined without having much.
That reflects your speaker.
Yeah. So yeah. So now I'm back, and I really love the environment. It's a safe place where you can speak, and nobody will judge you. I mean, feedback is all good, but you can speak without any judgment and any biases in mind. So yeah. I really enjoy it. I would love to.
And if you need to talk about the membership, Mana, you can reach out to us and you. G, if you can please. Share your opinion.
Morning once again. So, yeah, I think I attended one of the previous sessions similar to her, wherein I came 1 month ago. And the experience was good. I like the constructive way of giving feedback, wherein there's no judgment again, I like created that. So, feedback is really good, and the self-way is really good, wherein taking up the rules, I think that will also make you both self-aware. This is something that I'm looking forward to at both, and yeah, I hope to come here again.
That you really see that great models from the Toastmasters. And this is the longest that I have been engaged in something without getting distracted by social media. 2 hours. Yeah. So there's a great points that I learned. Nothing that I saw in YouTube by influencers. This is just great stuff, new stuff. I wish I can come back again, and I will definitely.
All right, with that, I would like to, all right, just before we close, I have two announcements to make. One is, in our friends group, I have shared a link to request everyone to just, give your feedback and review about this meeting. It will be helpful for our club, so you can take your time and go on with whatever you done and then do it. And secondly, after this meeting, there is a bit of short refreshment. Yeah, so please help yourself. I think few people who join the meeting, you can be started to share this. You would be Shriram. Oh, not for me, Shriram. Hi everyone, my name is Shriram. This is my second session. It's been a good and I'm able to take a lot of takeaway from this meeting and yeah, I will be able to join. How did you find the experience today? Yeah, it's very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Hi, everyone, this is Neha. So many years back, somebody had like my mentor had recommended me, but I could not join. Recently there was Bootstrap course that was conducted by Toastmasters, where I was a participant. So I really enjoyed that entire session. So this was definitely a follow-up to joining the session. So I really enjoyed this. This is like the format is more or less the same. So I'm looking forward to it.
I can. She has a gift. What is it? She has. Yes, please.
Hello everyone, I joined the Toastmasters Club like last month. And before that, I was with in CB and the club. And the reason why I really wanted to come here and give this feedback is because the kind of learning I've been having in the last 1 month is so much close to running a startup. Because we have got like very few members, we have to meet other people, try to convince them, talk to them, tell them the benefits and the same, and so many roles. So we have to like organize them, take different roles, coordinate with people, we network with people. So I have been networking like anything these days. So I agree to the point which you made that I mean we are joined for only for not for learning public for others, so that's like something basic. We have been learning this kind of an overall development and planning happening to me. Another feedback which I have like kind of different perspective. What happened was long back I heard like about the kind of comedian who said that like when you're on stage, no matter how well prepared, it's totally onus would be live on the audience, how they are responding. Today, I wanted to add some sense of some bit of humor. I just thought that added, but I don't actually aspire to be stand-up comedian in no way, but it's just that I added it just to make it more fun to listen to. And what I was looking at the audience, like there were some of them were enjoying it the most, they were laughing, there were some of them were not. And then it's like, okay, so this is what they meant when they said that, they were actually live with the audience. the better they respond, the better you are able to deliver your content. So two kinds of learning which I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you.
Nice to have your perspective from this side of the stage and that side of the stage as well. And your speech was really nice. I found it really similar. And also, it was a horror story as well. Right? So it was a mix of humor and horror, so it was really nice. So with that, I would like to end the meeting for today, meeting number 263, officially. All right.